In this video, we're going to talk about sorting arrays. So this is going to be something that you need to do in Program 1. And just generally, sorting is a really important problem in computer science. And so knowing how to sort arrays in C is a good skill to have. So I actually already have a program written up that implements selection sort to sort a int array. And you have access to that as well. So it's in public examples, chapter 7, and I think it's called selection sort.c. So I'm going to copy that into my current directory, and so now I have that file. And so just to understand what selection sort does, let's just run this. Well, let's take a look. And we can see, let's find our main. So here's main. And all main is doing is we are declaring test array right here. Maybe I'll add some spacing here. So we're declaring a integer array of size 5 that just has 5 numbers in it, 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. And so our goal is to sort test array so that it should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? After it's sorted. And so we have a function called select sort that takes in that test array, but really it's just a pointer to that array. So we can sort it in place and then the size of the array. So there are lots of different ways to sort. And one nice intuitive and easy to implement one is selection sort. So let's just run this, and that we have some print statements in here that can help us see what selection sort does. So I need to compile, and then let me run this. So on this first line, we see the original array, that test array that we defined first. It goes 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. So selection sort moves from the left to the right on the array, and at each step, it's going to look over the entire array, starting at some starting point, and find the smallest element and swap the start with that smallest element. So for example, on my first run through, I'm looking over the entire array, and I'm looking for the smallest element, which is 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap 5 and 1. And so we can see on this same line, on this next line, that's what happened, right? 1 and 5 were swapped, and everything else stayed the same. Now, in the second round, I know that my first position is sorted, and now I just need to look at my second through to the end. And so what do? I just look through that now size 4 array, and I'm looking for the smallest element. It's 2, and I'm going to swap a start with that smallest element. And so that, again, we can see that's what happened. Here 2 and 3 were swapped, and 4 and 5 stayed in the same place. Now we just do the same thing again, but we're starting with 3 here, starting in the third position. And so I just look over, I see 3 is the smallest, I'm going to swap 4 and 3, and we can see that that's what happened. And on the next round, I only have 2 to go. And then on the final round, I really don't need to do anything. We know that we already are, that last one's automatically going to be sorted for us. So how do we implement this in C? Let's take a look. I guess we... So in this file, we have our main function to execute program. We already saw we have our test array in main, and all we do is we call select sort. And select sort So we pass in our pointer to our array that we want to sort, so this is going to get changed. So we wouldn't, even though test array is an input, we wouldn't use a const. We wouldn't do something like put a const here because we are changing test array as we go. I guess we're changing list as we go. And we also pass in the number of elements to sort because we don't have, that's the way that we know how big our array is. Or maybe we initialized a really big array and we only are using the first however many, the first n elements. So here fill is that the current start of the portion of the array that we are sorting. So if I go back to my output, the first time through fill was starting here at the index 0. The second time through fill will be index 1. Third time index 2, the third position, index 2. So that's what fill is. Current index we are looking to swap. We use temp to actually execute that swap. And then index of min is the index we will swap with. And so here just a print statement to see our array as it is at the start. And then here, this is just a comment saying that we actually only need to go through index n-2 instead of, normally we would go through the n-1 index, right? Our array has size 5, so its indices are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Say I wanted to print it out, I would have to go access index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when I'm doing selection sort, I don't really need to do my index 4 because it has to be sorted. It's the only thing left. So the basic idea, like we've seen, we're going to find the position of the smallest element in the unsorted portion of the array, so that's fill and onward, and then we're going to perform that swap. And so we also have get min range implemented, just how you might think. We're just going to walk over our array starting from fill and going to n, and we're just going to find the minimum element. And so part of the reason that we're going over this is that you are going to need to sort an array in your program 1, but that's actually going to be a array, I think a 2-dimensional array. And so you can start with this code if you want, but you're going to need to make some changes to make it work. So to make those comparisons make sense. And so this, here we have selection sort. This code is available to you. So take a look and let me know if you have any questions.